Good evening. We'd like to call the meeting to order. At this time, we'd like to ask Councilwoman Nanette Cook to lead us in prayer and Councilman Jay Castile to lead us in the pledge.
We gather together here today intent on doing good work. We seek to represent fairly and well those who have given us this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom. We seek to serve with respect for all. May our personal faiths give us strength to act honestly and well in all matters before us. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you, Councilwoman Nanette Cook. Thank you, Councilman Mr. Jay Castile. Appreciate it. Hope everyone had a great day. Welcome to tonight's meeting. We welcome you to the City Parish Council meeting. We, as your representatives in the Lafayette Consolidated Government, welcome your involvement and encourage your participation. This meeting is a public hearing. If you wish to address the council on any item on this agenda, we ask that you please fill out a request to form in the foyer on the computer that is provided. The request to address the council form must be filled out and submitted prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. If your assistance is needed when submitting this request, we do have staff that is available to help you. If you have materials you wish to submit to the council, please give those to Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left, your right, prior to the call of the agenda item. In an effort to allow everyone an opportunity to be heard, there is a 5-minute rule that will be in effect. Speakers shall refrain from debating personal attacks and from making confrontational or derogatory comments. In the event a speaker has completed their comments prior to the expiration of their allotted 5 minutes, any remaining time at that point could be and shall be forfeited. I'm requesting that the first row to my left be used for media only. Lastly, food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium, and all phones and electronic devices shall be silenced from this point forward. I'm also requesting that anyone who approaches the council, please state your name and title for the official record. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. Documents, including agenda, ordinances, resolutions, and minutes related to the meeting, is posted online at LafayetteLA.gov, or you may refer to the web address on the top of the agenda. The council encourages your involvement and participation by volunteering for boards and commissions. If you are interested in finding out which board suits your interests, you may call 291-8800 or pick up a pamphlet at the door. Moving along to chair announcements. Item 11, Ordinance 054-2018, Agreement regarding office space for War Memorial Building, has a proposed amendment to Section 2 of the ordinance, providing allowable revisions to the lease agreement and include a proposed lease agreement to ordinance backup as per legal. Also, item 21, Ordinance 061-2018, conditional use permit 902 Johnson Street, is being pulled from the in globo introductory ordinances in order to have a separate discussion and vote at the request of Councilmember Lewis. All right, at this time we'll move to council announcements. Any council announcements? Okay. Seeing none at this time, I would like to recognize Ms. Veronica Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to send well wishes and say thank you to Council Staff Member Liz Benoit. Liz has been working for the council with the council staff in excess of 5 years, and Liz will be going on to bigger endeavors. She and her family are moving to Austin, Texas, and with that, her son Tristan is also graduating from LSU next Friday with a degree in computer science, which is taking him also to Austin, Texas. So we just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for all the assistance provided to the council office, to the council members, and to the public, and we surely wish you well.
Well, Liz, I just would like to tell you congratulations and good luck on your adventure, you and your family, and many blessings, and stay in touch. Come back to Lafayette when you can. All right? Cool. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Any council members? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move over to the Executive Mayor or President's report. At this time, I'd like to recognize our Mayor President, Mr. Joe Robideau.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to bring up our Chief of Police, Toby Aguilar, for a quick presentation.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, we're starting the month of May, and May is traditionally when we honor our fallen officers across America. And with that in mind, for the past number of years, the Lafayette Police Department has taken the time in May to honor all of the fallen officers from Acadiana. And in doing so, we asked the business community to help out with certain things. And tonight I would like to recognize Mr. Tom Spadell of Spadell's Florist. I've got a plaque for you, Mr. Spadell. In recognition for your unwavering support of the Lafayette Police Department's annual Police Memorial Service, your generous floral contribution the past 10 years is unparalleled and greatly appreciated. Thank you, and may God bless you for your continued kindness. And from the Lafayette Police Department. So on behalf of the men and women of the Lafayette Police Department and all of the departments that are represented in this annual memorial service, I want to know how much we thank you for your support. And we appreciate it on behalf of the officers and the officers' families. Thank you, sir. Sure.
I'd like to say a few words.
Would you like to say a few words?
I'm very honored by this, but the true honor goes to the people that wear the uniform. They're there for us at all times. So many times at my place of business, there may be something that comes up, 911, here they come. They have always been there for me, for my family, and for our community. So they're the ones that truly, I'm blessed for this, but thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief, and thank you, Tom. Also, on the President's report is, as required by the statewide agreed-upon procedures of the legislative auditor, we have included in your packages the budget to actual comparison. And so certainly if there's ever any questions after you've had a chance to review it, just know that we'll get you answers to those questions. And that's it for our report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, moving right along to ceremonial presentations. Liz, can you read?
Recognition, Carencro High School Boys Basketball Team Championship.
All right, this time I'd like to recognize Councilman Pat Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. I have the pleasure to present a proclamation for the Carencro High School basketball team that was held a few weeks ago. But before we show the film, I want to read something so you guys can go and get your popcorn before the film starts.
We got popcorn?
Yeah, go and get it.
All right.
Whereas members of the Carencro High School Golden Bears basketball team made the entire community proud by winning their state title. And whereas the Golden Bears basketball team completed its seasons with an overall record 27 wins and 10 losses, thus capturing the 2018 LHSAA District 4 Class 4A Boys Basketball Championship. Whereas the team was coached successfully by head coach Christopher Kabachi, Assistant Head Coach LaRon Gary, Assistant Coach Antonio Babineau, and Assistant Coach Brandon Richard. And whereas in the final championship game, Jeremiah August added 19 points, Lou Despani added 19 points, Nicholas Cormouche 15 points, Balin and Theonot Allen both added 7 points. Trey Williams added 6 points, and Chase Prejean added 2 points. Whereas Jeremiah August was named Most Valuable Player for his efforts. Lou Despani's defensive drove the man into Trey Williams, who made a steal that he passed to Nicholas Cormouche, who made the game-winning layup with 5.1 seconds left on the scoreboard. Whereas the Golden Bears basketball team defeated Woodland High School in the state championship by a score of 75-73 before the Coliseum crowd in the final of LHSAA District 4A Boys Basketball Championship. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Lafayette City Parish on this first day of May 2018 that today we congratulate Coach Cavachi and the 21 members of the Carencro High School Boys basketball team for their hard work and ultimate winning accomplishments as they are hereby declared Carencro High School Boys basketball championship. So, Joe, can you play that awesome film, please? That's it. And I also have a trophy for you guys. Can you come up, please, the coach and all the players, please? Oh. And when you come up, I'll ask each one of you guys to introduce yourself and tell me. You go up right
to the podium.
Yeah. Tell me, what do you do, and if you're the coach, the teacher, the student, the player, just tell us all. The referee, the umpire.
I can tell you which ones are the students.
I have all the mics, so either one's on.
Okay.
Split them up.
Christopher Kovac, head coach.
Kovac.
Brandon Richard, assistant coach.
Nicholas Carmouche, point guard.
Braylon Sesson, small forward.
Deontay Allen, point guard.
Holden Pellerin, center.
Joseph Charles, freshman.
Bailey Despani, forward. Byron Fobbs, shooting guard.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Chance Prejean, and I'm a forward. Thank you for having me.
Antoine Babineau, assistant coach.
LaRon Gary, assistant coach.
Yeah. Stay on the step.
Coaches, this is This is district, I said, I think the coaches, this is.
Take his glory.
Parents, if y'all want to come up, you could come up and take pictures.
Congratulations. Okay, all right. Good job, Coach. All right.
Thank you and congratulations.
Liz, can you read the next one?
Proclamation, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
All right. At this time, we'd like to recognize Councilman Boudreaux.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. Before I make this presentation, I want to acknowledge the fact that for those who don't know, due to term limits, 4 members of this council will be unable to run for re-election in the 2019 election to take office in 2020. Myself, Mr. Castile, Mr. Bellard, and Mr. Terrio, who's not with us. So there's been a lot of buzz about who is going to be in these positions in the next 2 years. And I will say that in order to get elected, you need many qualities, but 2 of which is persuasion and influence. And I'm kind of glad that I'm, I guess, terming out in this instance because our clerk of this council, Veronica Williams, lives in District 4, and she has proven that she has persuasion and influence. She sent out a message for people to wear red to the meeting in honor of her sorority being recognized tonight. And not only did the council honor that, the administration, all have been retired. But then our esteemed attorney, and this is what I was afraid of. Our esteemed attorney felt left out. He didn't have any red. He was feeling bad during the LPA meeting. He left in the middle of the meeting and he went cut a folder to create himself a red replica of a handkerchief. Look, Mr. Nakhan got red on his socks, but don't show us anything else, please. I don't want it to become like that greeting, but I got it on, but you can't see it. But we just, I know Veronica is really appreciative of that, but it's amazing. And for the record, Mr. Castile, the email did say Red and White Day, and he acknowledges he wore white, okay? So everybody, everybody's in line to honor this great organization. So with that said, whereas Delta Sigma Theta Sorority was founded January 13, 1913 by 22 collegiate women at Howard University, and whereas Delta Sigma Theta Sorority was incorporated in 1930 and is a private, nonprofit organization that provides assistance and support through established programs in local communities and throughout the world. And whereas Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is the largest African-American Greek-lettered sorority, a sisterhood of more than 200,000 predominantly African-American college-educated women. And whereas the Social Action Committee of the Lafayette Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated acknowledges the vision of Red and White Day that began at the Louisiana legislature in 1984 and has resulted in Red and White Day stemming from a Louisiana tradition observed by many of the sorority's more than 1,000 chapters throughout the country and held annually at the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. And whereas members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated are to be congratulated for their outstanding achievements in community service for the past 105 years. Today we recognize the Lafayette Alumni Chapter as they celebrate their 4th annual Red and White Day. And whereas Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated uses its 5-point program thrust of economic development, educational development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement to uplift, encourage, and develop the global community. Therefore, I, Kenneth Boudreaux, Council Member of Lafayette City Parish Council, and the entire Lafayette Consolidated Government, in conjunction with all of its citizens, congratulate members of their outstanding achievements and contributions to the city of Lafayette, and do by proclaim this first day of May, 2018, as the Lafayette Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, 4th Annual Red and White Day, signed by yours truly and sealed by yours truly, your member and also clerk of the council, Ms. Veronica Williams, who got everybody in the government to wear red today, and it wasn't UL Day, and they still wore red. So again, congratulations on your achievement. Just a personal note, I mean, these 10 years on this council, the prior 20 years of service, it's been an honor to work with you ladies in different capacities. The work that you do throughout Lafayette and the greater Lafayette area is well known. Everything from taking care of children at the greatest times of needs, holiday givings, education, and of course, most recently, one of my favorite time of year, the Botillion, where we really just prepare and introduce young men to this society. So just keep up the great work. Y'all know the Boudreaux are very familiar with Delta girls, having 2 sister-in-laws and 3 nieces who are Delta. So congratulations on your efforts, and we're proud of you. Thank you so much.
If you'd like to say a few words, the mic's on.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor President Joe Robideau and members of the council. My name is Aisha Martin, and I'm the president of Lafayette Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority is a nationally recognized sorority with 105 years of service. Our local chapter has been implementing projects and programs that have been stimulating social action in the Lafayette and surrounding areas for over 50 years. My sorors and I have come before you today to express our gratitude for the proclamation that recognizes our 4th Red and White Day at Lafayette Consolidated Government. Because of your continued support, we're able to continue being a dominating force within the Acadiana area, providing depth home buying seminars, youth initiatives, voter registration drives, and health fairs, just to name a few. Red and White Day is essential in creating ideas that may resolve certain issues. We would also like to express our appreciation for the partnership with the Black Pages of Greater Lafayette. We look forward to your support again as we begin preparing our next edition. Our chapter plans to continue the legacy of scholarship and service to the Acadiana area. Thank you.
Just want them to come around. All of the Brandon Bells, they don't need Come on. It's their time. Congratulations to all of y'all.
All right. Also, just forgot to mention earlier during council announcements, Mr. Councilman William Terrio is running late. He's addressing a personal matter, but he does intend to join the meeting, and he'll be here shortly. So I forgot to mention that. All right, moving along to item number C. Liz?
Proclamation, Community Action Month 2018.
Okay. At this time, we'd like to recognize Councilman Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This proclamation is for communities organization that's been around quite some time in the Lafayette community, and I'm very pleased that I'm giving this proclamation because they do a lot of things for the community, not only just in Lafayette, but also there's I think it's called Tri-Parish. So again, I'm very pleased and honored that I'm giving them a proclamation because some work they have been doing for many, many years. I've been knowing about this organization for at least 40 years, and I was always pleased, and every time I would hear things about what the organization is doing, I mean, a lot of people were very excited about it. So again, I'm going to read this proclamation, and thanks to you guys for being here, being present. I applaud you guys. Whereas community action emerged from the heart of President Lyndon B. Johnson's 1964 Proclamation of America, War on Poverty, where battles must be won in the field, in every private home, every public office, from the courthouse to the White House. Whereas community action has put a human face on poverty for 54 years by advocating for limited income citizens without a voice, so they may enter the middle class and reach for Americans' dream, replacing their despair with opportunities. Whereas community action builds and promotes economic stability as an essential aspect of enabling and enhancing stronger communities, which in turn promotes self-sufficiency, ensuring that all Americans are able to live in dignity. And whereas community action has enhanced the lives of millions of people across America by providing essential life-changing services and opportunities such as affordable housing, economic development, health care, energy assistance, natural disaster relief, and whereas community action already serves 99% of Americans, countries in rural, suburban, and urban communities, and because it is right, because it is wise, and because in our hearts and minds we believe it is possible, we will conquer poverty in our lifetime. And whereas community action will continue to implement innovative and cost-effective programs to improve the lives and the living conditions of all citizens in need of assistance, and continue to be a major voice of reasoning in establishing welfare system reform. And whereas Small Community Action Agency was incorporated in 1968 to fight poverty and provide economic security in St. Martin, Iberia, and Lafayette Parish, celebrating 50 years of helping people, changing lives. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Lafayette City Parish Council that May 2018 is declared Community Action Month in recognition of the hard work and dedication of all Lafayette, Louisiana Community Action Agency. Thanks. Again, as you can hear, as you heard when I was reading this from President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964, that's how far back. So there was poverty back then, which we all know that there was poverty. But again, this is what it's all about, trying to help people, people that's not successful, and you may call not successful, the people that has, poverty. And we want everyone to have the American dream, is be sufficient and be able to do things that other people that are doing.
Mr. Chairman,
Ma'am?
I just want to say on behalf of Smile Community Action Agency, celebrating, I know, a special year, Veronica, 1968, a special year, 50 years of service to our community, and we thank you all for the opportunity to this is not just any proclamation every year. This is a special one that we celebrate this year because it's 50 years of service. You have all received something on your placement. Please join us tomorrow at the breakfast at Laura's 2 at 7 in the morning. I know y'all gonna be up jogging and ready. And also join us throughout the programmatic month. We have things going on every week and throughout our month. We have yard signs, which we put one up. We're going to take it down, but we put one up so that y'all could see how nice it is in your yards, and we have that available for you. But just want to say thank you always for supporting and continuing to help our community, and that's what it's all about. CEO? These are all of our staff and our board members, and we're not going to keep you, but we want you to know that SMILE is really here to stay.
So Ms. Wiltz, as you know, is going to say it all. She's basically said everything, but I just want to make one quick announcement that we're all aware of the crime that's been going on in our area. And tomorrow morning at the breakfast, we're going to be announcing an initiative to work with 75 young people this summer, a partnership between Red Cross, SLCC, and the WIA here. We're going to employ 75 young people in the neighborhoods where these crimes are happening. And our goal is to pilot a program that will help us to address the extreme poverty and the things that are needed in these neighborhoods. So we thank you for your support. Keep us in your prayers as we embark upon this endeavor this summer, as we work with the police departments and law enforcement entities and all of the great work that's being done in Iberia, St. Martin, and Lafayette parishes. So thank you so much for the proclamation, and may God continue to bless and keep you.
Thank you, guys.
Very much. All right. Moving on to resolution. This is a public hearing in electronic speaker form is available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Liz, can you please read?
Resolution 27, 2018. A resolution of the Lafayette City Parish Council granting a design waiver for the Habsburg Lane Bridge Replacement Project.
Got a motion by Councilman Terrio, welcome, and a second by Councilman Conk. All right, any council discussion? Seeing none? Any comments from the public?
Yes, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 1?
Yes?
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, moving to reports and or discussion items. Liz?
Acadiana Planning Commission, Lafayette Metropolitan Planning Organization Activities Update.
All right.
Hi, Monique Boulay with the Acadiana Planning Commission, CEO. We are here, back again. We told you guys we were going to come back with a commission update, an agency update with all the work we're doing. And we have a lot, but we're going to be brief. The mayor advised me earlier, you guys like us to be brief. So we are, but Veronica's passing out an update right now. And what you'll see when you get it is the dues that you pay on an annual basis and the match that you pay on an annual basis. And that's what you put into the Acadiana Planning Commission. The first section is the community and economic development. What we've done when we moved the MPO over was really try to leverage some of the skill sets we had and reach out into other areas. The first one on there, I'm not going to go through each project, but I kind of picked a few different ones to highlight, is brownfields. We are building some expertise in the brownfields arena. We've gotten a grant for the University Four Corners area, and we are working with EPA to host workshops. We hosted one that some of you were at in 2017 and have another one coming. So building relationships with EPA and in the brownfields world to really try to build expertise in the region in that. You can see the other ones there. The next section is transit. Through the MPO, we also provide support for the Lafayette transit system. And in there, I'm going to highlight the transit study, that we have the regional transit study. Out of that has come the pilot that you're familiar with from Lafayette to Crowley. In addition, we have been working with the school board to try to coordinate the routes to school to help them reduce the number of buses that they have to put out. If we can put some of the kids in, we can adjust some of the routes to align with the start of school and the finish of school and the paths home. They've been very receptive to that. And then also, we swapped some of our MPO money into transit to purchase electric buses for the city. And so from a transit perspective, that's it. I'm going to let Melanie Bordelon, who's the Director of Transportation, briefly go through the transportation projects.
For our transportation projects, and these are all funded either through the MPO funding, or they're projects we have worked with various partners at DOTD and LCG to get these projects funded. We have over 17 projects, and then in addition to that, we have 20 roundabout feasibility studies for like $4.5 million worth of projects coming through. Some of the key projects are the University Avenue Corridor Study that should be completed in June or July. We do have an adaptive signal control project, which is coming up, and it's going to be one of the first ones in the state to do that. And like I said, we've got roundabout at University and Renault, the design and construction of that, some rural overlay projects. We have several sidewalk projects included in here. And we also have what are local road safety projects, and those are 100% funded by DOTD. And these are going to be some critical curves in more of our local roads. They're putting what's called a high friction surface treatment to help as the car goes around the curve to keep the cars on the road. So those are some of the projects that we have that are ongoing.
I'm going to correct Melanie. She said 4.5 million. It's 46.5 million in transportation projects. In addition, we didn't include here the projects in Broussard, Karen Crowe, Youngsville, and Scott. That's another $20 million of transportation projects in the parish. So and most of these projects we've got moving. You know, if you have particular questions on anything, you can ask us or you can call us. But they're active projects, active in transportation terms, slow but active. Next, we have the mitigation program, which again, I'm not going to go through those because we spent some time with you guys on the watershed, unless you have particular questions. But I will say these totals include the match, and there are conversations at the state of covering the match. I can't say that's a commitment that's been made formally, but there were very, very strong conversations. So we included that match in there, and then listed a couple of projects, the regional projects that really do have local impact. The other thing you have here is a save the date. We're going to host the next board meeting in Baton Rouge at the Capitol, and the governor will speak. The state and the Corps, we've really tried to build relationships with the state and with the Corps of Engineers, have encouraged us to continue moving forward with our watershed initiatives. We really are moving ahead of even the state. I'm hoping in the next few weeks, months maybe, that our efforts mesh together and we really get on the same page, because I always think, you know, what is the state going to do? Come in and, you know, try to realign us. But they have said very clearly, keep moving, because the idea of planning from a watershed perspective rather than an individual jurisdiction is really something that is not happening anywhere else. The Army Corps of Engineers, I was with them on their high water inspection tour, was very clear. Colonel Clancy will be at the meeting to speak about our initiatives. He updated the commission at that meeting about what we're doing in Acadiana, and very excited to come to this meeting. And so I wanted to invite you guys as well. I think it's going to be a packed meeting, but that's okay. It's a big room. We've scheduled it in line with the Acadiana delegation meeting on Tuesday. They generally meet for lunch, and so we're hoping, we're going to invite all 22 parishes, and we're hoping to get a good contingency there so that they can join the conversation, the watershed conversation with us as well. And so with that, any questions?
Yes, couple in the area of transit. So the regional transit pilot project, how are people being made aware that this service is available?
That will be starting in August, and we have a campaign that will be coming out. We are planning on that right now. We're working out the details of that project.
We've actually hired Prejean Creative to handle that marketing campaign. So there will be a full-fledged campaign to really try to create awareness on that. There's a lot of interest in the other parishes to have a similar service. Of course, with transit, the challenge is always how do you pay for it and who's going to pay for it. But the idea of bringing people from other parishes into Lafayette there is a very high interest of that. So if we can make this pilot work, one of the mayors along this route, even, this was before the floods. The floods, kind of readjusted everybody, was talking about the potential of a millage for something like that, for regional transport, because there are so many people outside of Lafayette that commute into Lafayette. Students, workers.
Yeah, and I mean, that's great, but even the municipalities within the
Yes.
parish of Lafayette.
Right.
I was more concerned about Dussault and Scott, to see how you're gonna deploy that, so we'll wait on that one and see how they'll be able to access these services, because the need is truly identified and great there. So we'll wait on that. The second is, you said you all were a part of the pilot that LCG is doing with Lafayette Parish School System to transport students. Did I hear you say that, or no?
Is it an official pilot?
Yes, it's
Okay.
with Lafayette Parish School Board and your Lafayette Transit System. And they've been working together to come up, there have been a few ideas, but what they're doing right now is for those children that are students outside of the zone, but attend Lafayette High, because there are bus stops at Lafayette High. So they've coordinated a lot of the transit routes in so that students can come into the Rosa Parks facility and then make it to Lafayette High at that time frame.
It just happened actually this weekend, so I haven't had a chance to get with the LCG side of it, but since you are here and you mentioned it, let me bring it to your attention. I don't think it's by anyone's fault. It might just be oversight. But what's ultimately happening is that we're providing a service to take children out of a particular zone and bring them to a zone, but we're not doing it in the reverse. And, it seems that the reverse is as simple because the locations can in fact be the same. So there are some transportation issues for kids who are outside of the north side zone,
Right.
who wants to come in, but nobody thought about that. Isn't
Well,
that
I
amazing?
think this was just kind of a baby step. I think
Wait,
everybody would
more.
like to see it throughout.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. See, baby steps, needs, okay? Because that's exactly what the school board said. And I will jump up and down to shut this thing down if we don't do right. The baby steps always go in the reverse. North side population is dwindling. And even the Lafayette Parish school system, for whatever reason, don't seem to be taking it serious enough. It's simple. If you could pick up a kid at a north side location and bring them into a Lafayette High location, when you stop there, it seems like you could pick up a kid from a Lafayette High location and bring them into a north side location. Simple. I don't want to go the baby steps and who go first and who goes second, okay?
I can have the data put together.
Right.
And then
But-
and we can give it to the school
Right.
board, and maybe we can work together with the school board.
But yet again, it's that privileged mindset of who goes first and who gets what. So again, I'm sharing it with you, and this is not going to be the response that's going to be acceptable, okay? And that's going to be the message to the school system as well as our department here. It's an exchange. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Simple. not about what happens and how the polity is structured. So start thinking about it, because it's going to be problematic. We're pulling kids out of North Side Zone where the population is shrinking, putting them into a zone where the population is healthy. And there's a lot of politics with the Lafayette Parish school system right now that I'm just quite frankly not happy with. So we're going to have to get very actively involved in that. And we're going to have to get it right, or we got to shut these things down, because I'm not going to have our agency be a part of that, okay? So I wasn't looking for the response now, but the response is not something that is going to be to address this. Nothing else will be acceptable other than we can do it.
Okay,
Period.
we will put the data together for North Side. Paul in my
Okay.
office does all of the routes.
Right.
We will put it together, and I will ask you to help us work with the school board.
Yeah, well, I didn't work with them to do this one, so I'm not the one to work with them. It's time people start doing what's right the first time. If they don't want to do what's right, we're out, period. Simple as that. We're out. Do what's right or count us out. That's the only thing I'm interested in. And as long as I'm here, we're going to start getting it right. We're going to stop catering to a privileged community yet again and just totally discard. That was a simple one. I drop you off, I pick you up. We do it all the time now. So they could have done it at the same time, but yet again, Northside got set aside. So I want the plan that works, not a study, not a what if, and this isn't about you all, but you were a part of it. You're the first one to come forward, you're the first one to hear it. Everybody's gonna hear it, or we simply out.
Okay.
But it has to work. That's all I have.
Okay. In closing, I will say I did not total up the projects, but directly in Lafayette Parish, without the transportation projects in the 4 municipalities, it's close to over $70 million of projects in Lafayette. So just wanted you, sometimes we hear back from councils, they don't know, what we do and how we do it. I think you guys do, you engage more with us. I think we're down the street.
You said the 70 million is
Lafayette.
Lafayette.
If you add the town's transportation projects, it's another 20 million.
I have a question. Mr. Terry has a question too. My question is on page 2. Do we have a list of these rural overlay roads for the 4.2 million?
I can get that for you.
Can you get that?
Yes, I do.
To me and the council, please?
Yeah, I can get that for you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Councilman Terrio?
Yes, that was one of my questions. I'd also like a copy of that list, too. That was the
Sure,
first one.
we can get that
Second
to
one on
you.
the very bottom of page 3, the LA 339 widening. For over a decade, I have been pushing that Vero School Road, as we all know, when you come in the morning, my God, the 2-lane road trying to get into Lafayette's crazy. That has been and was designated, from what I understand, a hurricane evacuation route a long time ago. Whenever there were hurricanes, people were coming in from Delcom, Erath, Abbeville on the backside. But on a 2-lane road, that traffic would back up from Ambassador Caffrey all the way down to Erath. So anything that could be done on that, I know there are a lot of concerns. We're looking at $400,000 to do a study. 4-laning Vero School Road would definitely help all the way down, would be tremendous. So if you have any additional information in the future, keep me in the loops on that, please.
Okay, we can do
We'll do
that. The projects here, I will tell you, come from the jurisdiction. The MPO, we don't define what the projects are for the parishes and the municipalities involved in the MPO. It's by application from the jurisdiction. So I do want to make that clear. We certainly can involve you in any particular project on the books, or even if you have questions with DOTD on other projects, we can also help liaison with them. We work with a lot of different departments there and have strong relationships, so.
Very good. That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Terrio. I'm not seeing any other council questions at this time, so I thank you for coming and updating us, and
Sure.
Please stay in touch and give me
We'll
that
get those
list
to you.
for us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Have a
Okay.
good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to move now to ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and the electronic speaker form is available for anyone that is wishing to address the council. There is a 5-minute rule that does apply. Can you please read the ordinance, Ms. Liz?
Ordinance 50, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of a grant application with the Louisiana Office of State Parks for the Recreational Trail Program Grant for the Nature Station.
Okay, need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Boudreaux and a second by Councilman Conk. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comments?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 2? District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 52, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council declaring the building or structure located at 925 East Simcoe Street, Lafayette, Louisiana, owned by Donald R. Bro, care of Gerald J. Block, attorney appointed, to be dilapidated and dangerous to the public welfare and ordering the condemnation of same.
Got a motion by Councilman Boudreaux, second by Councilman Castillo. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any comments from the public?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? Motion is approved. Ordinance 53, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the use of prior year fund balance in the amount of $2,462 and appropriating within the Office of the Chief Administrative Officer, Juvenile Detention Division, to promote one juvenile detention attendant one for an apprenticeship completion increase.
Need a motion and a second? Got a motion by Councilman Boudreaux and a second by Councilman Conk. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any public comment?
Yes, sir.
Please call the roll.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? Motion is approved. Ordinance 54, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to execute a lease agreement with the Lafayette Economic Development Authority regarding office space in the building located at 2100 Jefferson Street, Lafayette, Louisiana, 70501, known as the War Memorial Building.
Got a motion by Councilman Terrio, a second by Councilman Conk. Like to make an announcement that an amendment has been proposed to the ordinance to Section 2 to provide allowable revisions to the lease agreement and include a lease agreement to ordinance backup as per legal. Is anybody wishing to offer that? Got a motion by Councilman Terrio, second by Councilman Conk. Any council discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. Any public comments on the amendment?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you please call the vote on the amendment first?
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes?
District 2? District 3? District 4? Motion is approved.
All right. At this time, we'd like to go ahead and call the vote on the ordinance as amended.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9? District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? District 4? Yes. Motion is approved as amended. Ordinance 55, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 17-18 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the transfer of an amount not to exceed $108,000 in Community Development Block Grant Funds within the Community Development Department to 7th District Pavilion Incorporated.
Motion and second. Got a motion by Councilwoman Nanette Cook and a second by Councilman Conk. Council discussion. Mr. Terrio, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, do we have somebody from community development? Just real quick on your way up, one inquiry was, people were asking, what is the 7th District Pavilion?
Seventh District Pavilion is a community housing development organization. We've worked with them over the years to develop a number of housing developments throughout Lafayette Parish. This money is to fund a construction of two 2-bedroom, 1-bath duplex units with a total of 4 units in that duplex.
Okay, where is the 7th District Pavilion, or where's the office? You said they're an establishment that you've been working. Do they actually have an office here in Lafayette?
Their office is not here in Lafayette. It's actually located in Crawley, sorry. It's located in Crawley. They don't have an office here. However, they do have they do a lot of work here in Lafayette Parish.
Okay, so that's good.
we've also been a Chodo since 1997.
Matt, if you want to speak, you just have to come up to the podium.
Okay, so I guess the question that, you can come up to the mic too, and listen if you don't mind. I guess the question that I have, and it just seems interesting, is that your office is in Rain, but the projects are here in Lafayette. Do we also have projects, which naturally doesn't come before this council, but that's happening in Rain and in other municipalities?
We actually are.
Can you state your name for the record, sweetheart?
I'm Dazetta Thorne. I'm the housing director
Okay,
for
thank you.
7 District Pavilion. We actually located in Crawley, Louisiana. We are an active Chodo for Lafayette Parish. We were also an active Chodo for the state of Louisiana. We do have housing in 5 other parishes. So we work in 7 parishes altogether, which includes Acadia, Jeff Davis, Calcasieu, St. Landry, Evangeline, Vermilion, and Lafayette.
So I
This is the project that we're getting ready to do right now. We've already done about 4 projects in that area. It's called Maison de la Paix, and it's on Hogan Drive. We also are partnered with Willow Brooks Apartments 1 and 2, that's on Willow Street. We did those through the Lafayette Consolidated Government also, and that's been since 1997.
Our funds, our home funds, we are required to designate a certain percentage. It's 15% of our home funds that have to go to a Chodo. So 7th District Pavilion is the Chodo that LCG has worked with over the last number of years. We have recently allocated or granted designation of a Chodo with the CDC, Magnolia CDC. So we hope to work with them in the future, but we are required to work with a local Chodo per our HUD regulations.
Federal funds?
Yes.
And these are basically affordable housing, the 2 units that are going to be put up?
Yes. These units are actually for domestic violence survivors.
That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, not seeing any other council discussion. Any comments from the public, Ms. Williams?
Yes, sir. We did have one citizen, Mr. Jack Tolson, who did not wish to speak but signed in to support the ordinance.
All right. Please call the vote on the ordinance.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? District 3? District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 56, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council providing for the abandonment of a 10-foot electrical easement on Lot 3A of Howard's, having a municipal address of 4603 Johnston Street.
Got a motion by Councilman Terrio. Need a second? Second by Councilman Boudreaux. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Any comments?
No, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? District 6?
Yes.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 57, 2018. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the Lafayette Consolidated Government Board of Zoning Adjustments Rules of Policy and Procedure.
All right. We need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Conk and a second by Councilwoman Annette Cook. Any council discussion? Seeing none, any public comment? All right, please call the roll.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3? District 4? District 5? District 6?
Yes.
District 7? Motion is approved. Ordinance 58, 2018, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending Ordinance 114, 2013, accepting the reallocation of funds from the Hazard Mitigation Grant under Hurricanes Gustav and Ike for the acquisition or elevation of severe repetitive loss properties or repetitive loss properties, and amending the fiscal year 17-18 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by decreasing revenues in the amount of $85,999, 75% received from the state of Louisiana Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, and 25% received from participating property owners and appropriating within the Development and Planning Department.
Got a motion by Councilman Castile, got a second by Councilman Lewis. Council discussion. Councilman Terry, you have the floor.
Who do we have to speak on this? Is it Ms. Gary or Carly? Carly? Bear with me. I know there was something that came up about 3 or 4 months ago and where we were dealing with repetitive loss homes that had flooded, and there was going to be a mitigated amount that was going to be paid to that. And I think myself and a number of other council members had inquired as to the locations, as to where they were. Now, we understand we don't need a specific locations because it may be a violation of privacy or whatever, but if we could have a neighborhood, a location, a district, we don't need an address. So
Yes, sir.
is that the same thing as what's
No,
going
this is actually essentially an accounting ordinance to correct amounts in the budget that Ms. Tubes could also speak to. This is the same general pocket of funds, but not the selection. This is more just a cleanup ordinance of the amount of funds that we thought we were getting, and then the amount of funds that actually came through after the grant was awarded. But we can provide you that information. I was under the impression that question had been addressed for you, so I can follow up with that as well.
So basically what we have here is that we have 86,000 unspent on repetitive loss homes, and we're doing an accounting maneuver, or are we talking about?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
So the original amount that was applied for was approximately 1.7 million. When all of the allocations came through, we were allocated approximately 1.58 million. So this is to adjust that. In addition, the initial application that we put in miscalculated the match and took 25% of the original amount as opposed to 25% on top of. So this also adjusts that, but no monies were spent that we did not have.
Okay. So in essence, we actually initially had less than what we spent out, and we had to get additional funds in order to cover it, more or less.
I didn't totally follow that, but I think you know what you're talking about.
So, yeah, if you don't mind, and like I said, I don't know what other council members here.
Yes, sir.
In dealing with the issue that we
Yes.
talked about, if y'all can provide us some general areas as
Absolutely.
to where that's happening, I'm sure a number of us here would like to put eyes on that. So
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize Ms. Laurie Toops.
So you're not totally unprepared. We did hear that the feds may go back and increase that amount again. And if that happens, we're going to come right back to you with another budget amendment. So if we do, I wanted you to be prepared for that.
Okay. Thank you, thank you. All right, I don't see anything else. Thank you, Carly. Any comments from the public?
No, sir.
All right, please call the roll.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes?
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7? District 8? Motion is approved.
All right, now we will move to appeals. This is a public hearing. The electronic speaker form is available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule is in effect and does apply. Liz, can you please read?
Appeal of Planning Commission action, Coteau Ridge, PC 2018-5.
All right, I'd like to call someone up from planning, zoning, all these. Ms. Sarah Gary.
Good evening, councilmen and women.
Good evening.
So this is an appeal of Coteau Ridge. This went to the Planning Commission at their
March meeting, and they were granted preliminary plat approval there for, if I can get to where I need to be, 44, basically 15 lots out of 44 acres of property. They were granted a waiver of sidewalks. They also requested a waiver of what is considered condition number 12 in the staff report, which basically states that Rucath Leak has a speed limit of 35 miles an hour. And so because of that, they are required a driveway spacing limit of every 275 feet. These lots are roughly anywhere from 160 to 170 something wide, so therefore it's not wide enough for every lot to get a driveway. This is part of our access management plan. The developer did ask for a waiver of it. They were not granted a waiver at the Planning Commission. Therefore, they have appealed it up to the City Parish Council, and they are asking for a waiver of the driveway spacing requirement. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you guys may have.
At this time, Councilman Castillo has the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. I read through the report, and I see what they're asking for. Can you explain to me, number 10, what is the 1-foot reserve strip dedicated to the Lafayette Consolidated Government is required along St. Esprit Road and Catholic Road?
So what that means is that we require a 1-foot reserve strip along areas so we can control the access into lots. Because of the fact that they were requesting, because of the fact that they have the driveway spacing along Rucath Leak, basically traffic was like, listen, we are going to ask for a 1-foot reserve strip in order to control access. Basically, the lots would have to come to Traffic and Transportation to get approval for their driveway. This is kind of a standard operating procedure. It's basically to limit driveway access to pieces of property. If you have a small piece of property and you may want multiple driveways, may or may not be a good thing. You may or may not have enough room for multiple driveways, so that's where the 1-foot reserve strip comes in.
Okay, the lots are 177 by 730 feet deep.
Correct.
That's some pretty good sized lots. And it is in the country. Way back in the country. It's not a highway where you got to worry about cars coming down 100 miles an hour. Number 11, the driveway spacing, I read that too. I'm going to ask the council to, I'm going to go ahead and support the waiver, the appeals, but I want to listen, I want to hear from the developer first. But I would hope that y'all go back and look at this driveway spacing in our UDC codes, if you don't mind.
No.
Okay. Because when you do something like this in the country, I mean, so far back, it's detrimental to start off with, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We had that conversation before, you and I, so. That's it for now, Mr. Chairman, until we hear from the developer.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm not seeing any other council discussion. Go ahead and did any comments?
We do have two speakers. First speaker, Jim Ortego.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Ortego, representing Coteau Ridge. And I don't know if my question is directed to the council or to the representative of
planning and zoning,
the other Coteau Ridge. I have a final plat on my subdivision, which is off of Catholic Road for Coteau Ridge, and they are using the same name. And everything's been approved by the Lafayette Planning Commission and Zoning. Copy of the final plat by Lafayette Parish Clerk of Courts. It was all done by Montané and Domingue. Everything was approved a year ago to use the name Coteau Ridge. And now we're having to fight to see why these people are still using it.
Okay, Sarah Gary, you want to?
Okay, so they are not allowed to use it. this new subdivision. That's how it was submitted. Basically, in the action letter, under plat revision 2, it says the subdivision name must be changed since it is a duplicate name. We don't allow those to happen. They will have to come up with another name. They do know this. It's just, it was submitted under this. So at this point in the game, we have to continue going forward with this name until they come to us with another name. And that new name would go basically on the final plat. So,
They can't move forward until they definitely come back with the name change, correct?
well, they wouldn't have to come back. I mean, it's all handled basically administratively behind the scenes.
We need to make sure that that's taken care of.
Oh, yeah, it will, because we can't allow them to record. We give them final plat approval, our department, my division, and part of the conditions of development is that they have to change their name. They cannot move forward with it. Just like, let's say they were to choose Woodlands of Acadiana, we would not allow them to have that name because it would be a duplicate of a subdivision that is already in place.
Okay.
And the only reason I came forward is Andre had tried to contact someone with, I think with your...
Andre spoke to my office and we
Okay.
gave him this information also.
They actually didn't, because I spoke to him yesterday, and they did not respond.
No, I'm the one that spoke with Mr. Montney,
You
and I
spoke with
did give
Andre?
him that information, correct. He knows that.
Well, that's the reason I'm here, and as of yesterday, he said no. So, and I just received everything by text message, and I was out of town, so I decided just to come. Sorry to take up your time.
Oh, no. Yes, you know,
Thank
thanks
you very
for coming.
much.
Councilman Terrio.
Ms. Gary, if you don't mind, the time frame in order for you guys to move forward with the jobs that you have to do. So what kind of time frame are we looking at before they have to have this name presented to y'all?
Well, they have a year for their preliminary plat approval is good for a year, okay? At the end of that year, if they've turned in their construction plans, then they do get an additional 6 months. If at the end of the 6 months, their construction plans are approved, then they can get another year. So, I mean, essentially, for lack of a better term, they have 2.5 years. However, again, this is, I won't say that it happens often, but this does happen from time to time. And so it's no different than if they proposed a duplicate street name. We would not, both our department and 911 would not allow them to use a duplicate street name for 911 reasons. It's this exact same thing. We will not allow them to use a duplicate subdivision name for safety purposes.
And
So-
most of your documentation in reference to this that really doesn't get out in the public is confined to development and planning, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Ms. Gary. That's all I have.
Welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Councilman Castillo.
Thank you, sir. I know we have one more speaker, but I need to a motion to approve the appeal. I don't agree with the 1-foot strip, nor do I agree with the driveway spacing at this time. So I would like a second, and then we can have the next speaker come up.
Okay, yeah, Councilman Bellard noted that he'll give the second.
Good, okay.
So we have a motion to appeal, to grant the appeal by Councilman Castillo and a second by Councilman Bellard. At this time, we're going to move forward to the next speaker before we. Hold on.
I want to make sure we clarify. I understand, Councilman Castillo, what you're intending to do. What I want to clarify, though, for purposes of the record and for the council's benefit, is that there are two documents that are attached to this appeal. One is referred to as an action letter that carries a date of March 14, 2018. And then there's also attached what's identified as a staff report, which is dated March 12, 2018. They both contain the same two items that are the subject of this appeal, but they have different numbers. In the March 14th action letter, those items are item 10 and item 11. In the staff report, however, that's dated 2 days earlier, it's the exact same two items, but it has a different set of numbers. Those are items 11 and 12. So when we talk about the motion that has been made to grant the appeal, which is requesting a waiver of those two items, it is those four items that I just referred to in the respective letters. Okay?
So his appeal will be exactly what you just said, those 4 items?
It would be, it's repeated in 2 different documents, but if, for purposes of clarity, if you want to refer to the action letter, because that's what the form appeal actually, that was filled out by the person making the appeal, it refers to the action letter, which is dated March 14, 2018. He is requesting that items 10 and 11 be waived, and that is exactly what Councilman Castile's motion was, and that was seconded.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have another additional